whew, it wasn't even all that heavy for me. But even then, at the end of this drop set, my triceps start burning. Hey guys, Mark McKilley with Live Anabolic, and I have a radical arm workout for you today. We're gonna do drop sets to build bigger arms, simple as that. So for you guys that have been having a hard time building your arms, you feel like you've been doing everything that you're supposed to do and they're just kind of hit a plateau, I'm gonna throw some more advanced techniques at you today, and it's gonna burn, okay? But this is part of that, no pain, no gain type mentality. And so for you guys that are beginners, all right, I don't advise you guys to do this type of a workout. Let your body get into working out for at least a few months before you try this more advanced technique. Matter of fact, in my Fit After 50 program, I don't even use it at all during the first 3 phases. But in phase 4, I make heavy use of drop sets, supersets, and rest pause sets. And today's drop set is gonna make those arms burn, but it's gonna make them grow. So guys, before I get into the specifics of how we're gonna do these drop sets today, just check out our Facebook group. It is fantastic, it's free, it's easily the best fitness group on all of Facebook. And even if you don't like Facebook, screw it, just create an account. You don't have to use your own real name, you don't have to use your real pictures, just create the account, join us. We got over 17,000 guys around the world. Everybody's our age, it's just guys, and I'm the moderator. So you'll get a lot out of it. Trust me, you will not regret it. Okay, so before I demonstrate these 4 different exercises for biceps and triceps, I want to, explain basically what a drop set is and my take on how I like to do them. Everybody's got a slightly different take. So a drop set is just that. You do a set with a weight on any exercise. And then at the end of that set, let's say it was 10 reps, you drop the weight to a slightly lower weight. And without resting, you immediately start doing the exact same exercise again. All right. And then, all right, we're going to be doing double drop sets, which means we're going to actually drop the weight twice, which in effect means we're going to do 3 sets with no rest in between them. So we start with the original weight. We drop some weight, we do another set. Now the second set, we're not gonna be able to do the full 10 reps. It's gonna be more like 4, 5, 6 reps. Then we drop the weight again and we do a third set of probably 4, 5, 6 weights with a slightly less weight. So each time we're dropping the weight. Now, what I like to do is I like to drop the weight by roughly a third of what you're doing. And guys, it's not gonna be perfect, all right? Especially when you're going in 5-pound increments. So just get kind of in the vicinity, all right? So it doesn't have to be exactly 33%. So I'm gonna tell you the weights I'm using, okay? And I'm gonna tell you how much I drop for the second and how much I drop for the third part of each drop set, just to give you kind of a feel. And then the other thing, guys, is I like to personally shoot for roughly 10 reps at the first weight. We drop it down, and then I like to shoot for roughly 5 reps on the second part of that drop set, and then drop the weight again by another third. And then I like to shoot for roughly 5 reps on the final part of the drop set. So that's 10, 5, and 5. That's 20 reps, guys. Now, it won't always be that way. Your first weight might be a little lighter, so you might need to do 12, 13, 14 reps, all right, to get close to failure, all right? Or it may be a little too heavy, you may only get 8 out, and then you might drop too much weight, okay? And then when you get to the 5th rep, you still may have plenty left in you. Then you gotta push it a little harder. You may end up getting 7 or 8 reps, all right? So it's okay. The deal is, I want that first part of the drop set, the very first set of reps, to be the biggest number, okay? And then when you drop the weight, I want that to be lower rep counts. So let's just get into it. I'm gonna show you the first exercise is called a close grip dumbbell curl. So we only need 1 dumbbell. Now, the nice thing about the dumbbells I have is these are quick adjustable dumbbells. So I can get in here, and that's 25 pounds, and then I can just twist the handle and go to 15 pounds. That's all the time it takes. Now, some of you guys are gonna have multiple dumbbells, each with, at different weights. That's also real quick. So get the 3 dumbbells that you're gonna use. Now, we're only gonna be using 1 dumbbell in this case because we're gonna be doing a close grip and I'm gonna be holding just 1 dumbbell under the flange, okay? So let's say you can do, I'm gonna go to 40 pounds here, guys. Okay, so let's say you're doing a 40-pound dumbbell. And this is basically the form we're gonna be doing right here. All right, so I'm not gonna do the whole thing yet, but I want you to realize that for me, I would do the 40-pound weight, then I'm gonna put it back in here and I'm gonna drop it down to 25 pounds. That's roughly a third less than 40 pounds, right? And then after I do the 25 pounds for about 5 reps, I'm gonna put it back in here and I'm gonna adjust the weight and I'm gonna go down to about 15 pounds. Once again, that's about a third less than 25 pounds. It's not perfect, but that's just ballpark. That's all we're shooting for, guys. So here we go. Let's just do a drop set here. I'm gonna do, and if I was really doing this, I'd probably be using a heavier weight. This is mainly just to show you guys the form. All right, so with as little rest as possible, I'm gonna put it in here and go from 40 down to 25. And then we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. We've dropped the weight once. We're going to drop it one more time down to 15 pounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, man. Now, guys, that is just 1 drop set, or in this case, 1 double drop set. And you guys are gonna have to figure out what the correct weights are for you, okay? Now, once again, I didn't even warm up, okay? And so I picked a relatively light weight that I knew I could do with good form, all right? But I want you to pick a weight, all right, at every level that's hard to do. So when you get to that 10th rep at the very beginning of this drop set, I want you to be close to failure. You don't have to be at failure on that 10th rep, but be within 1 or 2 reps. Then drop about a third of the weight off, and then just getting 5 or 6 reps is gonna be tough if you push yourself hard on the first part of that drop set. Then once again, drop another third off of the weight, and it's gonna be really tough to get, 5 or 6 reps if you're pushing yourself at the very beginning. Okay, so the second exercise for our arms today is gonna be focusing on our triceps. But remember, it's not just the exercises that are gonna build these big arms, it's how we're doing the exercises. So a lot of times, the more traditional way is you just pick a weight that's really hard to do, 8 to 12 reps, I mean hard to do, and you just push yourself really hard. You knock out 12 reps, you're at failure, you can't do any more, you put it down and then you rest for a minute before you do the next set. All right, so the technique of doing the sets and the exercises are the same, but all we're doing is we're dropping the weight. And once again, we're doing double drop sets, okay? This is just a little tougher than a single drop set is all. So this is gonna be an overhead tricep extension. You only need 1 dumbbell, all right? But remember, we're gonna drop the weight twice. So just as an FYI, to give you kind of a feel for how I decide how much weight to drop, I'm starting with a 40-pound dumbbell. And then I'm gonna go to 25 and then 15. Now, once again, in reality, if I was really pushing myself and doing a hard workout, I would be starting with a heavier weight, all right? Which means when I drop the weight, I would be using slightly more than 25. I'd be using, a third of whatever I start with. And then on the third weight, of course, it would be a third of the weight, a third less of the weight than our second level. It gets kind of confusing, but I think you guys understand what the deal is. So Here we go. 40 pounds. Overhead tricep extension. So I'm going to knock out 10 reps. Now, in reality, this is not a heavy enough weight for me to get near failure at. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So pick a weight that's really hard to do for about 10 reps and then drop it down. And this weight, if you were really near failure on the first part of this drop set, should be hard to do for 5 reps. Your triceps are going to start burning now, guys. Lactic acid is building up. I'm doing my second drop now, dropping it down to 15 pounds. See how little rest? That's the key, guys. Try to keep the rest to a bare minimum. It wasn't even all that heavy for me, but even then, at the end of this drop set, my triceps start burning. That lactic acid starts to build up. And that's what's going on with this advanced technique. You know, the more lactic acid you produce, the more signals your body sends to your brain to ramp up production of testosterone. It's as simple as that. And then also, the more you break down the muscle fibers. So the more we damage our muscles, the more your body overcompensates when it repairs and regrows those muscles. All right, so the third exercise is switching back to biceps. So we're going to be doing 2 bicep exercises and 2 tricep exercises, but all 4 of them we're going to be doing with a double drop set technique. All right, so the third exercise is a concentration curl. So you guys, I'm sure, have seen me do this before. A lot of you guys are probably very familiar with this, but it's just the way we're going to do it. All right, so I'm starting off, all right, just to give you a feel for how you should adjust your weights. Now, once again, this is not real hard for me. It's not a real heavy weight, but I'm going to start off with 25 pounds. I'm going to do 10 reps, good form, concentration girl, and I'm going to drop the weight down from 25 to 15 pounds. Then I'm going to pick it back up. I'm going to knock out about 5 reps, and then I'm going to put it down and drop it from 15 down to 10 pounds and knock out 5 more reps. So once again, that's not exactly 1/3 less with each drop, but it's ballpark. And that's as good as we can do because once again, we only have 5-pound increments, all right? And it's not an exact science. I just want you to pick weights that are hard to do for the initial 10 reps, all right? If it's too easy and you drop 1/3 of the weight, then the second part or the middle part of that double drop set is just gonna be too easy. You're gonna get to 5 reps, you're gonna be going, ho hum. All right, so start with a heavy enough weight that you're near failure at the 10th rep, okay? So here we go. And 10. All right, so very little rest. Come over here. Go down. 15 pounds. Here we go. 1. We're just going to do 5. 2. 3. 4. 5. It's starting to burn, guys. That lactic acid is building up. All right, now we're dropping it down to 10 pounds. 5 more. 1. 2, 3, 4. Oh, wow. So even though that's a pretty light weight, I was really feeling my right arm is burning right now. Now, we ain't done yet. Remember, we got to do the left arm. So guys, Same thing applies, especially when we're just doing, you know, one arm or one leg or one shoulder or whatever it is at a time. Give yourself a good minute rest before you hit your left arm. And the reason is, guys, you should be burning, okay? You may not be out of breath, but your arm should be, you know, pretty painful, pretty sore right now. So I want your body to have about a minute to pump some blood through those muscles and start to flush that lactic acid out. And what it does is it circulates through your body, goes back to your liver, and your liver converts lactic acid back in to glucose or glycogen, which then gets circulated back to your muscles, and it uses it as a source of energy. All right. So guys, concentration curls with a double drop set are going to make those biceps burn. All right, so now the fourth and final exercise today, we're going back to the good old triceps. Now, what I didn't tell you at the beginning of the video is there's a little math involved when you're doing drop sets. You've probably figured that out by now. So, you know, when we're doing dumbbells or barbells or something like that, it's a lot easier. But when you get to using bands with these tricep push downs, it's going to get a little bit more complicated. So you need to figure this out before you start your set, okay? So what I've done is I've gone in here and I've picked the 3 colors. And you can pick 2 colors, you can pick 5, it just depends, okay? So I picked a resistance basically that I think is going to be relatively difficult to do 10 times, all right? So once again, for me, I'm just doing demonstration purposes. I'm not going 100% all out, okay? But you need to pick a combination of bands that's going to be really hard to do 10 reps with good form. Because remember, as soon as you finish that, we're going to drop some of the resistance off, roughly 1/3 of what you're doing, and we're going to shoot for about 5 more reps. And then after that, we're going to drop roughly 1/3 of what you're doing at that level for the final 5 reps. So this is the deal. On these resistance bands, come on over here and take a look at this. On one end of the resistance bands, they'll have a weight on there. Now, it's not on both sides. Now, some bands may have the resistance on both ends of each band, but mine just happen to have them on one side. So I picked these 3 resistance weights as my initial starting point. So we're going with a 30, a 20, and a 15. So that's 65 pounds total, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to knock out 10 reps with the 65 pounds, okay? Then I'm going to drop off the 20 pounder. I'm going to take a red off, and of course you got to take it off both handles, right? Then I'm going to knock out 5 reps, all right? And then I'm going to take the green one off. I'm going to take the 15 pounder off, and I will only at that point have 30 pounds left. So starting with 65, I'm going to drop a 20 off, then I'll do 5 reps with 45, then I'll drop the green off, and I'll do 5 more reps with 30 pounds of resistance. Sounds a little complicated, but once you've done it once or twice, it's no big deal, all right? Matter of fact, when I'm at the gym doing this, and we're using the cable crossover machines with the weight stacks and the pin, okay, I can just visually look at the stack. I might start with a stack of this many weights, and then I'll drop the pin down or up, and I'll basically just eyeball what 1/3 of that stack looks like, and I'll go to here, and then I'll do 5 reps, and then I'll eyeball what 1/3 of that looks like, and I'll go to about right there. I won't even care what the numbers are on the stack. I'm just eyeballing, okay? It's real easy to do at the gym, and these resistance bands are just a little more difficult, but you know, I've already figured it out. I'm doing 10 reps, and then I'm dropping the red one, and then I'm dropping the green one. That's as simple as that. So let's just do it, all right? Here we go. Tricep push downs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, once again, that was a little too easy for me, all right? But I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes only. So I'm pulling the red off, both handles, and I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible. No rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now I'm dropping the green off, which is 15 pounders. That's going to leave me with the blue on both sides, which is 30 pounds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is it, guys. A double drop set with tricep extensions with resistance bands. And once again, you could probably tell by the lack of effort needed for me to complete that drop set that I didn't start with a heavy enough weight. But once again, guys, I'm never using weights in my videos that I would use when I'm doing a real hardcore workout, because I want to be able to talk to you, okay? So you guys have got to figure out the correct resistance that's going to be really tough, because if you don't really push yourself to exhaustion on that first 10 rep part of the drop set, then when you drop the weight for the second and third parts, you're just not going to be feeling it. You're not going to get that lactic acid burning. You're just not going to get as much out of it. So guys, 4 great exercises, but the way we did them with this advanced double drop set technique is going to help a lot of you guys that have plateaued and can't figure out why your arms just aren't growing. You do this on a regular basis and stick with it, I guarantee you, you're going to see some bigger arms and you're going to like the results.